Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the A.M.T. 125th scale 1968 Shelby GT-500 build. And in this video, we are going to get to the spark plug wires and some of the engine assembly. Now, I took the original distributor that came with the model, and what I did is I took my sanding stick here and I filed off all the bumps where the for the spark plug wires where they plug into it, so it's pretty flat. I'll try to do my best here. It's nice and flat on top. And after that, I took my pin vise, and it's kind of hard to see because I did some touch-up paint, but you can see the green in there. I took my pin vise and drilled in probably, I don't know, probably a 1/16, no, probably an 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, about an 1/8 of an inch actually. And then what I did is I got this wire. It's a wire set I got off Amazon, and I can have, there are 30 gauge wires, which I think will be, I think when I googled it, 125th scale spark plug wire ended up being about 30 gauge. So I ended up purchasing this, and it's multiple colors, so I can have red, green, blue, yellow, or black. I decided to go with the yellow. I thought the yellow and blue looked really good, so I cut 8 spark plug wires for it, and then I also added a shorter wire here for the ignition coil, which I'm gonna 3D print for it because it didn't come with one. But I super glued those together real good, and I let them dry. And what I'm gonna do is basically just super glue it into that little deal that I drilled, and then they'll be sticking out the distributor cap. And the reason why I did this, I don't know if you've seen it when I got it close, but see, it's got the ribs on the side of it still. I wanted to, you can purchase 125th scale distributors that already has the wire already attached to it. I wanted to try it this way. This way it didn't cost me nothing extra but the wire, and I can use this wire for several models. But I wanted to give it a try with the actual kits distributor to see how that went, instead of purchasing one. But you can easily purchase a distributor for these small 125th scale engines. Boy, my train of thought is horrible today. So what I'm going to do, I did not glue it to the distributor yet because I wanted you to see how I was going to put it together. But we are going to go ahead, get the super glue out. I'm going to put my glasses down here. I will just, hopefully not spill it all over. There we go. Get some on the end there. I'm gonna get a toothpick and spread it all the way around the perimeter so it's just not one big bubble on one side of it. Like so. And I'm just gonna put it in the distributor cap. I'll give it a little twist while I'm at it. I'll just hold that into place for a little bit. And I wanted to do this first because I want this to sit aside and dry really good before I take the tape off the wires. Hopefully I didn't super glue it too high so that the wires can't bend because this thing's got a huge air cleaner. Like that. We'll just set this off to the side for now. So I did that for the distributor. That's how I got the wires all in there. For the engine, what I did is I located where the spark plugs would be and where the wires would plug into. I took just a simple hobby T-pin and I poked a little pilot dimple in the engine where they were going to be. And then I took the pin vise with my smallest drill bit, and I went ahead and drilled out the holes. And I'll try to focus. It's hard for me to see because I think you can see it. Did that on both sides. My little ring light is so bright. But I did that, cleaned out the holes, and then I had to do a little touch-up paint. If I was to do this over again, I would probably do these holes before I painted the engine next time. That way I don't, because once I started drilling, you lose some of your paint. It chipped a little bit. So I'd do some touch-up on that last night, and I let it dry real good. But that's how I did those, and basically what we're going to do is glue the distributor cap on here, and then once our valve covers are on, I'll show you what I did with the valve covers. When I googled this type of engine, they showed a kind of a flat black valve cover, and then it looked like aluminum ribs. So what I did is I painted it black, and then I dry brushed it to bring out the Cobra and then the ribs on it. And I did the same thing for the air cleaner. And I can bring the air cleaner over here. Get my arm in the way for you. But I did the same thing for the air cleaner. So let's go ahead. We need to get the valve covers on. This is probably going to be a longer video. I want to try to get the spark plug wires in so I can have some more control. I'm going to dab a little glue on a piece of cardboard there. And what we'll do is I already chipped some of the paint off where I don't want the paint. We'll get that stuff out of the way. And I'm just going to apply some glue. The reason I haven't painted the transmission yet is because that's kind of where I'm going to be handling it quite a bit, and I didn't want it to end up ruining the paint on it. So I figured I'd get everything together, and then I'll just put it back, the toothpick back in there, and use it to stand, and then I'll paint the transmission last. Then I don't have to handle it so much after that. So we got that there. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more glue, apply it around the base of the valve cover, and we'll just let it bond. When I used to do these car models as a kid, one time I decided to put spark plug wires on one of my engines. I think it was a Chevelle or something like that. But I didn't. The smallest wire I had was telephone wire. And I don't know what gauge telephone wire is, but I'm pretty sure that it didn't look scale, is what I'm trying to say, at all. And I didn't dechrome these parts. The reason being is I wasn't sure if I was going to dry brush it or if I was going to go ahead and I gotta bring this closer to me. Didn't know if I was going to dry brush it or just rub the dark or the black paint off the valve cover and just let the chrome show through. Wasn't sure how I wanted to do that, so I left the chrome on and just did it that way. That looks cool. I kind of like the dry brush, actually. It looks like the photographs I saw online. So that's one valve cover. Let's go ahead and get that other one on, and then we'll put the carburetors on. I decided to go with the dual quads. And I'm thinking I'm going to 3D print the ignition coil, like I said. But I'm thinking of doing there's a fuel line that goes from the fuel pump, goes up and across here and across the top of the intake, and then there's like a fuel rail, and then there's two hoses that go to each carburetor, or one goes to each carburetor. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to add that detail to it. Then I plan on doing like the battery cables and whatnot. Alright. Get our other valve cover here. Like that. Make sure we're not upside down, that would be bad. Like that. Put it up so you can see it, if it'll focus. Well, we're 13 minutes in and we haven't even done nothing with the spark plug wires. Alright. So now, I did scrape the, I didn't take the chrome off the carburetors either. Kind of gave it a cool, the gold that I painted it was kind of translucent a little bit. It took several coats to make it gold, I should say. And kind of gave it a cool effect. This is the back one, if I remember right. And I might end up, I'm going to put it like that. And the engine around, let's just get some in them holes. And then, I'm careful enough. Don't shake so bad. Kind of line it up. The fitment of the parts wasn't bad. There we go. I just think because the fuel rail is silver, if I can find the right, find something that would be about the same thickness, and then just do the same as the spark plug wires. But they actually showed them as black. I could use the black wire to go up to the carburetors, and the fuel rail was silver. There we go. It's starting to look like an engine. Alright, so I don't get my sleeve in there. Turn that one that way. They're a pretty tight fit. They fit pretty close to each other. Like that. Of course, you won't see the tops of them. Probably won't see much of them at all. But there we go. We have carburetors and the valve covers. Now, I think what we'll do, I do have the alternator here, but I ended up painting the wrong pulley system for this style motor. It uses a bigger one, and of course I originally put the wrong intake in, so of course I painted the wrong pulley system. I'll have to repaint, or I'll have to paint all that up. There we go. Smash it down a little bit. Wasn't quite sitting right. And then that big old air cleaner will fit on there. But I want to keep that off because I'm going to add that fuel rail. And then you'll see right here there's a little bit of the filter showing. Air filter. I want to paint that, or dry brush it white. So I'll set that off to the side. We're not going to need that. And I think we need to get the oil pump on though. Or not oil pump, the oil filter on. So we'll put that on. Like so. That goes in that little slotted area right there. Let's hope I don't drip all over. Get it all over my nicely painted engine here. You're probably seeing nothing but my head too. There. I don't know where to grab this thing. I'll have to do a bunch of touch-up painting too after it's... There we go. It needs to go in a little bit like that. Like so. I decided to go with a white oil filter. That way it'd show good. And one of the cars that I was taking, or looking at the photo of for reference, had a white filter on it. Thought it really looked good with the blue. So there's that. Set that out there. I'm going to move the alternator. We won't be needing that today. Pulley system and fan will be last. Okay, that feels good. Let's get these unbundled. Now, I'm not gonna try to figure out the firing order and get them in the right cylinder. That's little. I don't need to go into that big of detail, I don't think. I might have missed part of my. Did it get super glued? To me, tape sticks really well. Let me just do something quick here and make sure that that's not still wet. It almost seems like it. Shouldn't be. There we go. Just got too big of fingers. Can't grip it. Little piece still on there. Little bit of a struggle. Okay. So now we have it might stick up too much. I really super glued them in good, didn't I? I think I can cut them free though. Here's my ignition coil wire. Try to find them all here. And these two, some of them got stuck together a little bit. Oh, they still have a little tape on them. That would be why. Okay. So now we got a nice mess here. I'm gonna keep that one up. And that'd be something if I didn't put enough on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay, good. That would have been embarrassing. So now that we got that figured out, I need to cut it off of here. I put it on the toothpick because I thought it would be easier to work with. Goodbye, toothpick. And it went flying too. And then we'll just get a little bit of glue on there and we'll go right here. And I did paint the stem of it the aluminum color, or steel color, excuse me. It's gonna be close, I think. It's going to be close. Take my pin vise here, I'm gonna just open up that. Take some paint out of that hole. Okay. I do plan on touching up around there a little bit with black to kind of simulate a rubber boot. Yeah, my super glue kinda, it shouldn't come apart. I gotta be careful I don't break them off. Trying to force a little more down out of it. I think that's about as much as I'm gonna get. Honestly. That'll work. I think. I hope. So I will get some glue on there. We'll get it on the engine. A little bit there, and then some in the hole. Get a little bit more than that in the hole. There we go. Didn't have hardly anything on there. I feel better about that. Let's put the distributor on. A little more glue, I think. Ain't much of a nub there anymore because I ended up having to cut it out of the manifold. Might have trouble with that one. Most important piece. No, don't bubble. Yeah, that's a bummer. I ended up doing that. Yeah, I think they'll flatten out enough to... I was worried about the clearance. The air cleaner's kind of set in. Yeah, this isn't going so well, is it? Now it's starting to set a bit. Yeah, I really like how them valve covers turned out. I like how most of the car's been a smoother ride than the Brome was. The Brome was a two-piece body kit, and it was a curbside kit. It didn't have an engine. So I was really excited to do this engine. But I put a lot of glue on there. And I'm sure paint's being an issue. But that had some fitment issues with that kit. Probably should have snipped it. Probably should have kept some of that toothpick on there to put in the... to use as a peg for it. That was a fun kit though. I enjoyed doing the Brome. I got this where I want it, but the glue just isn't setting. Put quite a bit of glue on it. Well, I might have to widen that hole a little bit. Probably not that toothpick. Will that little nub fit in there? I don't even care if it's flush with the engine at this point. Just want you to go in. Maybe. Maybe that's the first thing I should have done with the engine. Probably should have attached that before I did any of this stuff off camera. But I wanted to show you how I did the distributor. Or I might have to do a separate video. I might have to add some of the it's starting to stick. I did dump a bunch of glue in there though. That never helps. Will you stay though? Let's let it sit up for a little bit. No, it's not going to stay. It's already falling off. Yep, I think I might call that a video, and I might glue that to the I need something that'll go in that peg, and it's just not going to do it with that short of a peg. So anyways, that's how I did my distributor wires anyway. And basically, if that would have glued in real nice, all I was going to do is just stick them in the holes basically. Measure them out right, and then what I'll end up doing is painting a little bit of black at the end of it where it's sticking in, so it kind of looks like a rubber boot for it. But we'll have to save that for another video, because I kind of wondered when I started doing this if that's what I shouldn't have done, is need something more than that little nub. It'll never support the weight. So we'll do that in the next video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. We'll see you guys next time.